that the brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. London boy, but DC where I reside now. Put the time in while you always yelling time out. And for quit it, cause I know I'm coming with it. You were sitting, you were wishing I was handling my business. Now I got the ball like Harry Potter playing Quidditch. And my business is humongous, you would think that happens in there. Oh man, I'm all that, yeah, I'm all that. Working for that whip, yeah, that what you call that. I'ma blow up in the summer, have them yelling fall back. And I've always been ahead like an effing ball cap. Man, I came in the game like, whoa. Got a couple chains on me cause I like gold. They told me I'm the best and I told them I know. Cause when I'm in your town, every ticket I sold. Yeah, they saying I'm the man. Facts, bro. Lot of haters, tell me where they at though. I'm the new pop, all I do is rap though. Want me on your song, throw a couple stacks, yo. Woo! Everybody wanna do the same thing. That's why we ain't on the same page. Do my own thing, and I maintain. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah, I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah. I'm going mainstream. Damn. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. So I'm going mainstream.
Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the wind crying out its prayer. While we're so ashamed to be alive, break the chains and our freedom's ours to take. Look behind your back. Chase a light when the world is getting darker. I have a dream where love's the only side. So take my hand, join the army of the shadows. Going harder, we are more than numbers. Standing in this shade. Going louder, we are all one color. Standing in their way.
Boas pessoal, aqui é o José Silva e sejam bem-vindos a uma live stream de FIFA 23. São últimas novidades que o FIFA vai sair no final deste mês para o PC, não é? Estou a falar novidades, se calhar alguns youtubers já têm o FIFA e só vou lançar para as ordens que eles querem, não é? Por isso eu vou lançar quando recebo o FIFA, pessoal. Por isso eu já fiz a minha pré-reserva. Por isso, quando receber o link ou a chave que eles mandarem onde comprei o meu FIFA, publico o FIFA. Muito bem, vamos então fazer o que estava a fazer. Eu estava a editar a capa. Deixa-me só editar no stand. Editar no stand da capita. Não era esta que ia pôr. Era esta. Agora já está feito. Vamos lá então aqui às novidades do FIFA, pessoal. As novidades é sobre o Ultimate Team, sobre o Pro Clubs e no final o análise, profundidade, experiência de encontros. E no final o preço no FIFA. E vou fazer como faço comprar e etc. Eu não vou clicar no coisa, no comprar, porque já fiz. Senão já há um abuso já dos jogos, não é? Muito bem. Vamos então fazer aqui o análise. Vou pegar nos fones de portáteis de Android. De Bluetooth. E vamos lá pôr. E vamos ver só o análise do FIFA Ultimate Team. Vamos ver o que vai dizer. Não sei se tem legendas em português e coisas. E em inglês. Não vou desativar. Se ativar aqui. Deixa-me ver. Introduzir automática. Tem introdução automática. Vamos para em português, pessoal. Legendas. Sou português. Quem está em inglês tem uma sorte grande que tem legendas em português. Vamos lá ver o que vai acontecer e bora então ver o vídeo. Alto. O 4K não aguento 100%. É melhor não exagerar muito por em 4K, vamos só melhorar por esta qualidade, que o 4K não vai sempre transmitir 4K.
We are here with Richard and Aslan from the development team to talk about everything new in Ultimate Team. So Aslan, let's start with you. What are you most excited about in FIFA Ultimate Team this year?
You know, there's no question it has to be FUT moments. It's our brand new mode. It's going to give players a new way to play, a new way to earn rewards, and it's totally different from anything we've done before. It's going to be single player, fast, fun, bite-sized scenarios with a ton of variety and unique challenges.
Bite-sized, so that means that we can play certain scenarios within a match, like the 75th minute?
You got it. So it's going to be short gameplay sessions. It could be scoring a free kick. It could be completing a comeback when you're 2-0 down with only 10 minutes to go. But we'll also have crazier ones, things like scoring a goal with a keeper without completing a single pass, without losing possession. We can do all kinds of fun stuff that is just really different from our other modes.
Does that mean that we can recreate matches and scenarios that we've seen in real life over the weekend?
We're going to have a mix, right? So some moments will be inspired by real life, recreating that banger from the weekend, that goal from Son with a finesse shot from outside the box. But we'll also have more unique and creative ones that really are very distinct and different from how you play in other modes in FUT. So there's going to be a lot of variety and a lot of fun ways to play in moments.
Now, what exactly do you get when you complete a moment?
Yeah, so when you're completing moments, I think the most important thing is that you get to set your own difficulty level. So based off your difficulty level, we're going to give you stars as a reward. So stars are a brand new reward type to Ultimate Team this year. So you're going to be able to redeem them in the Moments Reward Gallery. You're going to always have new rewards for you to be looking out for and exchanging your stars for, but your stars will never go away. So it's up to you if you want to spend them as you earn them or if you want to save them up for something special.
So is it a system that comes in seasons for moments?
Yeah, so there's going to be a mix of content. We're going to have a lot that's going to be available right from launch, and then we're also going to have some seasonal content that's going to come and go. Some might be up for a few days, some might be up for...
Este é igual a todos os anos.
This is really interesting because some people might come home, play FIFA, but they don't have enough time to play a full match. So this is like, yeah, like you said, bite-sized.
Yeah, I think that's one of my favorite parts about it, is that if I have a few minutes free, now I can jump into Ultimate Team and I can make progress. I can practice my free kicks, I can practice dribbling, or I can just try out a scenario and see how that goes.
So what I'm really excited about are the new changes I've been hearing to chemistry. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, I think this is one of the biggest changes we've ever made. In 23, we're totally overhauling chemistry, and you'll have more variety than ever in how you build your squad. So we focused on making it more authentic with how we're doing positioning, more intuitive with how your players are going to link on the pitch, and really just enabling a lot more experimentation and variety when it comes to building your squad.
One thing I noticed about this screen is that there are no chem lines.
Yeah, that's right. So positional links are gone. Players can now link across the entire pitch. Your left back and your right back are linked, your goalkeeper and your striker. If we look at Andy Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold, for example, this is an iconic duo, a real threat in the Premier League. In 23, they can now build chemistry towards each other. And the same thing works when you're building hybrid squads. You'll be able to link up your striker, let's say Mbappe, with your defenders from PSG or France or Ligue 1. So there's a lot more options now when it comes to building interesting squads with more variety, instead of having to rely on neighboring links and green links.
So I'm noticing that every player has 3 diamonds on them. Does that represent the chemistry?
Yeah, so players can now have between 0 and 3 chemistry, 0 being the minimum and 3 being the maximum.
So what they also see on this screen is the left panel. Does that help you figure out
já percebi.
Yeah, so this will be your reference point for how you build chemistry. Each nation, each club, each league
Isto é muito fodido, meu.
And you'll build chemistry towards the
É
threshold.
tipo, isso é química dos
As
jogadores.
you add players, you'll start working towards these thresholds and unlock chemistry for that nation, league, or club.
So are there any changes to positioning?
The first big change is that most players will have a secondary position. And the secondary position is based off of where they play in the real world.
So let's take João Cancelo, for example. Sometimes he plays at left back for Man City, and then other
Posso pôr Cancelo à frente.
So he'll have a secondary position.
So I think that's the perfect example. For the first time, you can now position change from the left side to the right side of the pitch, or vice versa. That means Cancelo could switch from being a right back to being a left back in your squad. And it's also a really cool way that we can differentiate unique players. So Cancelo, based on what he does in real life for City, you can now reflect that in-game as well.
So can players have more than one alternate position?
Yeah, so players can have up to 3 secondary positions, and most will have at least 1. If a player is out of position, they will always have 0 chemistry. And at 0 chemistry, there are no more negative attributes. They're still going to play at least as good as their base stats. So already you've got a lot more options for trying out players without having to rework your entire squad.
So now let's talk about icons and heroes. How do they help with the chemistry of the team?
So icons and heroes always give a unique benefit to your team, and that's not changing with 23.
Rony, que a puta daqui passa. Foda-se.
Will always be at full chemistry. On top of that, icons will count as 2 players towards their nation, and heroes will count as 2 players towards their league. If you play an icon or hero out of position, they're going to be at 0 chemistry. Now remember, at 0 chem, players won't have negative attributes, so they're always going to play at least as good as their base stats. So you can try out icons and heroes out of position if you just want to see what they play like in that squad.
So everybody's been talking about crossplay, and I want to know, how is that going to affect FIFA Ultimate Team?
So what that means for us is that we're adding crossplay to all of our 1 versus 1 modes. So if you're playing on the same generation of consoles as someone, you're going to be able to match up with them. So that means our PlayStation and our Xbox users are finally going to get to battle head-to-head.
E PC.
What that also means is that we're introducing crossplay to our friendlies modes as well. So if you have friends and you want a bit of a friendly competition from platform to platform, you're going to be able to do that now.
And what does that mean for the transfer market?
We have 1 global transfer market for most players. So if you're a FUT trader, you should pay attention to this, because it means there's going to be more content for you to play with and more people who are going to be competing on the transfer market as well.
So in terms of draft, FUT champions, and rivals, will that be crossplay as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So all of our 1 versus 1 head-to-head modes are going to be crossplay.
On top of that, we're also adding global leaderboards. So for the first time in Rivals, you're going to look at the Elite Division and see players from other platforms to compete for that #1 spot. But you can also only look at your platform leaderboard as well.
So I'll be honest, one thing I love doing is spending time customizing my stadium. Is there anything new when it comes to that?
Yeah, we're making upgrades across the board, Shu. So your stadium's going to have a new roof for tier 1, 2, and 3. We've got new animated pitch trophies that look awesome. We've got new animated tifos as well. So how you can customize and show off your stadium is going to look so much better in FIFA 23.
So it's a World Cup year. Is there anything coming for FUT?
We are gonna have the World Cup in FUT this year, but I can't really say anything else, so stay tuned.
Well, I mean, hey, you can't get everything you want, but we did get a lot of great new details on FIFA Ultimate Team in FIFA 23. We heard about the brand new mode, FUT Moments, a brand new chemistry system that's going to redefine the way we play Ultimate Team, cross-play functionality, and of course, visual customization that is going to make your stadium look incredible. Aslan, Richard, it's been a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to FIFA 23. And back to you, Derek.
Cheers, everyone. Stuart and I will make sure we provide the perfect chemistry off the pitch all season long.
Isso já é outra coisa. Vamos então terminar este e vamos a
We've got
este.
the squad together to get into what's new in Pro Club.
Então, carregas para a tela grande ou não?
Thank you, Derek. Here with
Então,
Tim and Mbuso from the development team, diving into everything
tem que ser assim.
that is pro clubs in FIFA 23. A ton to get into, including a new shared progression system, customization, drop-in, new perks, new skill games. Here to break it down are the dev team themselves. So let's start with you, Mbuso. What are you most excited about in FIFA 23?
So many things, but I think I've got to start with that first thing you mentioned, the shared seasonal progression. We have an opportunity to have both social modes in the same space in the main menu.
So FUT
É a mesma coisa que aconteceu ano passado. Agora se joguem as raparigas.
A 6-week cycle. This will be the first time that Pro Clubs players will be able to take advantage of that. Pro Clubs players will now be earning seasonal progression by playing Pro Clubs matches. They'll be able to head over to Volta where they can claim their rewards.
É lá,
purchase
isto não
the
tem.
Volta coins that they've earned, and then take their rewards back to Pro Clubs where they can equip them and wear them on the pitch.
Talking about pro clubs heading over to the 11v11 match, community talks so much about drop-ins. Is there anything new coming to the drop-ins experience this year?
Yeah, we're looking to freshen up the drop-in experience this year. We want to bring in more kits, more stadiums. We want to be able to rotate through that visual experience. So now there'll be 8 Pro Clubs drop-in specific kits. On top of that, we do want to liven up the experience and create more moments of magic. So for this year, drop-ins will be 4-minute halves. We want to reduce that down so it's a faster experience, make every moment matter. And we also want to move to a golden goal extra time that won't proceed to penalties beyond that. We want to make it a quick experience. You get in, you score a magic goal and golden goal, and then you're back in the ecosystem, readying up to go again.
Community often talks about tracking that progression, perks playing a big role in that. Can you explain anything new coming to perks and the whole progression system as a whole?
So for 23, we have listened to a lot of
Esqueci uma coisa para você discordar, sorry.
feedback. There'll be a lot more levels, and not only that, the gaps between each level, the XP required to move from one to another will be shortened, so it'll be more frequent moments of excitement and more rewards. We're also looking to get perks into the hands of our players sooner. While you may only have one perk slot available to you at launch, we want to get you in and able to experiment and find out which one works for you best. Furthermore, into perks, we do have 4 new perks, 2 of which are defensive based. So there's a great new one called Chase Down, which is activated after a change of possession if you're retreating back toward your own goal, as well as an interceptor perk that'll activate whenever you're defending and the ball is in your proximity. You'll be able to make blocks and traps on opposition passes and shots more easily. We also have a chance creation perk that's light passes. It's a really interesting one. It's the only time that the perk actually takes effect on your teammates. It'll actually influence the ability of your teammates to trap and control your passes. So if you're playing driven passes into the box, that first touch, when you need it to be perfect, to be able to get it out of your feet and shoot, that'll be the perk for you, and you can dictate the play of your team. We also have a poacher perk. This will activate when players move inside the box, and it will boost all of those areas of finishing, volleys, heading, as well as your general finishing and shooting.
Something I think every Pro Clubs player has experienced at one point or another. You load up the game, load up Pro Clubs, you get ready, and none of your teammates are online.
It's a common occurrence that you're into the lobby and you're waiting for that one last 2 or 3 people. And this time, FIFA 23 will give you something to do with your time. So we do want to encourage players to go and play skill games with their virtual pro inside the Pro Club system, compete against your teammates for top spot on a Pro Club specific leaderboard, so you'll get bragging rights. And on top of that, we want to give you a player growth XP reward that will reset on a weekly cadence. We'll also be adding Player Growth XP as a reward to Volta matches, so you will be earning a contribution to your Pro Clubs Avatar's player progression XP as well.
So what would you say the main benefit is here as these two come together for both Pro Clubs and Volta players?
The shared seasonal progression. So now we have it where in Pro Clubs and in Volta, you can play both modes and earn seasonal points. And then that shared progression can carry through into both of those, unlocking gear that you can equip onto your Pro.
All right, a lot to take in here, so I guess it's really just time to start planning. And Buso, Tim, thank you for joining us, running through everything. And I guess it's time to get the group chats going, get the team back together.
Get everyone back together, join the club, go be that hero.
Yeah, can't wait. Thank you.
Ready up, Derek. Back to you.
Well, Stuart, I think we need to go and plan our next team celebration.
Well, Derek, I've already got one in mind. Got me inspired, that's for sure.
Vamos ver o último. E depois vou explicar como vocês compram um jogo no Instant Games. Quem está a ver a primeira vez tem que baixar a qualidade. Apanho desde sempre isto, mas quando estou a fazer like parece que não aguento.
Well, a commentator always benefits from incredible production values, and today we're going into what makes FIFA 23 look and feel better than ever. Over to Shauna and the FIFA 23 producers to tell us more.
Thanks, Derek. I'm here with the development team, Fab and Adriana, and we're talking all things FIFA 23. We're going to tackle what's new on the pitch, around the stadium, and my favourite, scoring goals. Fab, what are you most excited about?
Oh, by far, the pitch is our biggest improvement visually in the game. We really looked at leveraging the power of the new hardware to make it look as realistic as possible, where we went in and we tuned the length of the grass, the color of the grass. We even show some of the dirt on the grass when it gets torn up through either a slide tackle or a knee slide. So we really kind of bring that pitch to life.
So will I be able to see Mbappe's knees in the pitch?
Absolutely. You can see him slide and leave a trail. And what's really cool is, say you do that in the first half, you'll see that trail in the second half as the degradation will stay on the pitch throughout the course of the match, and you can kind of beat it up from kickoff to full time. And it just really makes the pitch feel like a living, breathing piece of the environment. So it's super cool.
I'm gobsmacked with the shadows and how real it looks.
Yeah, so what we've done is also look at exaggerating the shadow on the ball, so you'll see more shape on the ball itself, exaggerating the shadow on the players themselves, so they feel a little bit more connected with the playing surface. It just makes everything just feel more in tune.
Thanks, guys. The pitch looks absolutely amazing. So that was on the pitch. Now let's talk about everything surrounding the pitch. So can you guys tell me what's new in pre-match?
One thing I'm really excited for are our pre-match build-ups. So what we're doing is using quick-cutting, fast-paced cinematic language and elements to create really cool hype videos that you'd see by any kind of high-end sports broadcaster. So what that means is cinematic scenes of fans descending upon the stadium, drone shots of that stadium, really good flashback moments on the pitch, as well as manager interactions. And on top of that, brand new commentary takes, as well as really cool music to kind of tie that all together into a really emotional pre-match build-up.
It always has the feeling of Judgment Day when these two massive London clubs collide. It is Chelsea and Tottenham who will prevail.
Oh wow, that sounds amazing. What else have you got?
So next up is our female officials. So we're bringing a lot more diversity to the game this year. Not only are we improving the visual quality of our female officials, we're also adding the ability to assign these for the first time ever to some of our men's competitions in the game. So this means that some of our competitions that use both male and female referee crews in real life, we can actually replicate that now properly in the game. On top of that, we're also able to assign both men and women referees in some of our most popular game modes, such as FUT and Pro Clubs.
It's happening in real life and it's happening in the game. I love to see it.
So next up is our new trainer. Really excited about this, as this is a way that we can remove barriers for new players coming to FIFA. This is a brand new tool set, as well as revamped visuals to our trainer to make the trainer more intuitive, sleek, and modern.
Good technique displayed. The net is steering him in the face. There it is, and he could scarcely have had an easier finish.
Well, what I can see is the crowd looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah, we've taken some really meaningful steps to improving how the crowd looks. So what this means is kind of, more crowd
heads, more crowd body types, more crowd clothing items to really make that crowd feel natural and more varied in the game. Yeah, so the next piece I want to talk about is our camera refresh. So one of the key innovations we've seen in the sports broadcasting field over the last couple of years is the use of shallow depth of field cameras. So what we've done, and we look at our camera set and we've kind of upgraded and refreshed our cameras using these new cinematic lenses. On top of that, we've tried to make moments feel special, such as goal kicks and corners. So when you do get those, we have some really cool new cameras right on the pitch where we can show off your player, as well as the atmosphere behind it and the crowd, to really put that together and make it a really unique moment in the game.
Okay, we're on to my favorite part, the goals. What do you have for me, boys?
Scoring a goal is something that we always want to feel special for the user. And I know the gameplay crew did show you a sneak peek with their
Caraças, tem isso?
or in some of the replays for Power Shot now, you'll notice that we use new camera angles and new augmented reality stats that actually show off really interesting information about the goal and really rewarding the user for scoring. So you might see XG, distance to goal, the speed of the shot even, and even the stats when scoring the goal. So it's really just a way of making it look like a more dynamic, compelling moment when scoring.
Well, you definitely will be seeing it on my socials because I am loud and I'm proud when I'm winning my FIFA games.
Can't wait. In addition to the new replay content, we also wanted to look at what we can do to enhance the actual nets in FIFA.
Jesus,
and what we wanted to do was actually
Sicko.
convert that to real 3D geometry. So the netting is actually now a real net, and you'll notice that it reacts to light, and more importantly, it animates more realistically. So when you do have a goal that kind of goes in and ripples the net, it just enhances that satisfaction of scoring. We also looked at what we can do with adding, additional audio effects and treatments to scoring a goal. So we wanted to add another layer of customization. So in modes like Foot or Pro Clubs, or even the career mode, Create Team, you'll have the ability to insert special sound effects for after you score a goal.
An early goal. It is the ideal opening.
We think that you're going to really appreciate that level of customization and bringing their personality to the game.
Oh, a goal! It's got in!
Wait a minute, is that a horse?
The horse is the favorite, I think, right now.
That's insane.
And of course, every year we add a number of new celebrations to the game, and this year is no different. So you'll notice that we added a number of new celebrations for many of your favorite star players.
Esse era do Ronaldo.
I'm definitely going to be using these after scoring a few bangers. This has been incredible. I can't wait to play FIFA 23. It's been a pleasure, guys.
Absolutely, Shauna. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks so much. Can't wait for you to play the game.
Cheers. Back to you, Derek.
Muito bem, as novidades estão feitas. Agora vou explicar-vos como vocês daí compram um FIFA, fazer pré-reserva normalmente. Eu já fiz o meu, como foi o 2 anos, já fiz os meus jogos, por isso fazemos para mim pré-reserva. Multibanco, espera aí, PayPal, PaySafeCard, multibanco ou esta cena. Eu como uso PaySafeCard, clico aqui. Você quiser dar um presente a alguém, clica aqui e depois clicam aqui. Claro, depois mete a sua conta e clica login e siga para o jogo. Eu já gastei o jogo, já não tenho nenhum, por isso é isso como vocês fazem para comprar o vosso jogo. E não se esqueçam de subscrever o canal e ativar o sininho. Vai ser vídeos todos os dias, menos no sábado e domingo. Só for uma coisa muito que eu quero gravar. Por isso, vamos treinar por aqui. Espero que vocês gostem. Fui! E vamos deixar uma música de fundo, pessoal. Fui, até a próxima. E fica bem, pessoal. Fui! bocadinho.